Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about making your resume stand out from the rest of the people that are applying for the same job or career choice as you. I'll specifically be telling you how to make your resume stand out from the rest with 8 critical tips. That's right, these 8 tips will help your resume stand out and give you a better chance at actually getting the job. Let's get right into the video. Now, whether you're applying for a job or a grant or anything at all, to be honest with you, because a resume can be used for things that are more than just a job, whatever you're applying for, you're gonna have a better chance with these 8 critical and crucial tips. Tip number 1, and I have some notes over here, that's why I keep sort of glancing over here. So tip number 1 is to make it visually appealing. You wanna make your resume look great. Now, I'm not talking about including like 40 different graphics in the resume. You don't want to do that, but maybe you want to include just a touch of color, like a splash of color, because most resumes that the people receive, the employers or whatever, the people who are deciding, most resumes that they receive will just be sort of plain monochromatic, nothing standing out from the rest. You want to make it visually appealing, so a nice balanced look to it, and maybe you want to add not necessarily a border, but like a header sort of bar at the top, like, you know, maybe like a nice blue bar along the top. I've seen that done. That makes it visually appealing. Just something simple like that. Look at examples online. You can find tons. Make it visually appealing. Number 2, use an atypical font. Now, you don't want to use a font that is out of this world. Don't do that. You want to use a nice professional font, but at the same time, something that is atypical but easy to read. So make sure it's easy to read, make sure it's still professional, but not the sort of standard fonts that you see all the time. Go do some research online. You can find examples of many fonts that fit that criteria. They're professional, they're easy to read, but they're not part of your typical, like you know, family of fonts. So they're atypical, but they're professional and easy to read, okay? You can even do something like just on each of the subheadings, you can use a different font for those, and then the rest of it can be sort of within the typical font family. Just do something different with the font. It really allows it to stand out because these people are used to seeing the same fonts used over and over and over again. The third tip is to be specific about your achievements. So you want to be very specific about what you've achieved, okay? In your past education, in your past career, and in life in general, be very, very specific. The more specific you are, the better that it's going to be because they will remember the specifics. If you talk about general, broad stuff, then they're probably going to read it so many times. But if you talk about specifics, then they're more likely to actually remember the specifics of your resume, especially if they call you for follow-up and you say, oh yeah, just like on my resume when I mentioned, they're gonna say, oh, I remember that, right? So be specific about your achievements. Number 4 is focus on results and quantify them. So, you know, at the end of the day, the journey is important, but when people are looking for people to hire, for employees to hire, they are to give something to, like to say this resume is the winner. They're looking for results at the end of the day, because results to them mean better business and better, you know, a better overall choice in terms of who they've chosen. So, you know, be specific about your results and focus on those results and quantify them. Mention the numbers, mention any quantifiable evidence, okay? That's number 4. Number 5, be straightforward about what you want, okay? Don't beat around the bush. If you're looking for something in specific, be straightforward about what you want. If you have a specific salary that you are looking for, mention that, or certain hourly wage or whatever, retainer, whatever the case is, mention that in the resume, because this way, if they're not willing to meet what you want, then it's done. They know that you guys aren't gonna, it's not gonna work out, right? You don't wanna negotiate with someone who's you're never gonna meet in the middle, right? So at the end of the day, be specific about what you want and just write down what you want. And this way, if they're happy with you and they know they can offer you what you want, then you have a winning combination. And if they can't, then you know what, that's fine. Move on to the next, right? It's how it works. You don't wanna end up somewhere that you don't wanna be, okay? That was number 5. Number 6 is include a job-specific cover letter. So you want to include a cover letter that's job-specific. It doesn't mean that you have to type out a new cover letter for every single application or resume. You know, you can generate a general cover letter and then certain spots of it can be specific, and then you can just change those for each job. But make sure for each job that you're applying for each thing that you're applying for, the cover letter is specific for that thing. You want to make sure as much as possible that you have some specificity within your cover letter, okay? Like I said, you don't have to retype the whole thing over and over again, but just, you know, try and include some general stuff and then areas that you can include specificity within your cover letter, and then you can change it for every single job. Number Number 7, contact the employer outside of the resume. Now, it's very important to do this because there's going to be lots of people who just drop off a resume and walk away. If you contact the employer outside of the resume somehow, you're going to have a better chance at having your resume stand out. I'll give you an example. When you go submit your resume, you're probably going to end up submitting it to a secretary, some sort of administrator, like an HR person, right? And then that resume will then be passed on to the big boss who's going to do the hiring, most likely. If you can make a phone call or send an email to that person who's actually doing the interviewing and the hiring and just say, hey, I just wanted to reach out and let you know I dropped off my resume. I'm really excited for you to look at it, and I just want to thank you for your time in advance. If you just call them or send them an email, then they're going to say, oh, you know what? Like, they're probably not going to get any other calls or emails about it. So they're going to say, oh, you know what? Let me go check out that resume, and you're going to stand out from the rest. Believe it or not, I've used this this method many times to get jobs that I've gotten over my lifetime. Every single, even part-time jobs to full-time jobs and stuff like that. Every single job that I've gotten, it's always been, you know, decently because of me contacting the employer outside of my resume, just mentioning, going above and beyond to mention the fact that I'm interested in the job, and they truly appreciate it most of the time. Okay, lastly is number 8, which is have someone else look at it before you submit it. You know, when you read something over and over and over again, it just sort of blends in with each other, and you start filling in the words by yourself without even reading them. So having someone else look at it will give you a new set of eyes, a new perspective, and they'll be able to hopefully help you improve on that resume. For an added bonus, make sure you're choosing someone who is, you know, does well with the language, knows what a resume should offer, knows what to look for in a resume, or at least tell them what you want to portray in that resume and see if they see the same things that you're trying to put out there. So that's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment, and of course be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.